College basketball is brought to you in part by the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. And by Heineken. Just being the best is enough.
We're at the field house, the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh. And now for tonight's nationwide insured starting lineups. Check the yellow pages for the nationwide agent nearest you, who just might be Ken Precise of Butler, PA. Let's go to our announcer, Clayton Hartman.
And now the starting lineup for tonight's Big East basketball game. First, the forwards for St. John's, a 6'6" senior from the Bronx, New York, number 31, Lamont Middleton. For Pitt, a 6'7" senior from Baltimore, Maryland, number 21, Antoine Jones. For St. John's, a 6'6" freshman from Oceanside, New Jersey, number 44, Fred Lyson. For Pitt, a 6'7" senior from Richmond, Virginia, number 24, Chris McNeil. At center for St. John's, a 6'11" junior from New York City, number 42, Chanel Scott. For Pitt, a 6'11" junior from Bronx, New York, number 52, Eric Mobley. The guards for St. John's, a 6' senior from New York City, number 11, David Kane. For Pitt, a 6'3" junior from Chicago, Illinois, number 13, Ahmed Sharif. For St. John's, a 6'3" sophomore from Elmont, New York, number 23, Derek Brown. For Pitt, a 5'11" sophomore from Harlem, New York, number 5, Jerry McCullough.
And also a look at the coaches. There's Brian Mahoney in his first year with the Redmen in first place, too. He replaced Lou Carnesecca. And Paul Evans guiding the Pitt Panthers. He's in his 20th year as a head coach, 7th season here at Pitt. He's been tremendously successful as a head coach. We'll be ready for the tip-off right after this for the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. We'll do that right after we pause for these local messages.
February melts the winter cold with red-hot sports action on MSG Network. The New York Rangers skate against some of the NHL's best. They face the St. Louis Blues, the Vancouver Canucks, and the quick-skating Calgary Flames. The New York Knicks tip off against some NBA powerhouses. They take on the Charlotte Hornets, the Detroit Pistons, plus Kenny Anderson and the New Jersey Nets. MSG's college basketball schedule heats up with top teams and top games from across the country, plus 5 more big St. John's games. February brings the return of one of the nation's oldest sporting traditions, the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. See more than 2,500 champion dogs compete for prestigious honors, including Best in Show. Stay tuned after most Lincoln Ranger home games and hear from some of today's biggest stars in the sports and entertainment world. Mike Francesa hosts live from the play-by-play. Plus, you can always catch the latest sports news, scores, and all the Tri-State Scholastic sports news with MSG Sports Desk. Feel the heat with all the great winter sports action on MSG Network, the best in the game.
The site, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Dave Sims and Dom Perno with you. St. John's getting ready to take on Pitt. Take a look at some of the numbers as these teams stack up. St. John's 7-2. They've got the 2-game lead in the loss column on Pittsburgh. The differential here, Don, take a look at the points allowed. Pittsburgh, 81 a game.
That's the one that stands right out. They're scoring about 80, but they're giving up 81. Could be a key ingredient tonight.
Our game officials tonight, Dan Chrisman, John Cahill, and Mark Distola. And the Pitt fans are really revved up. 2 games over at the Civic Arena, a loss to Syracuse and a loss to Villanova. Tonight, first place St. John's, and Pitt takes over first.
St. John's, Dave, will open up with their man-to-man defense. It's a very stingy man-to-man D.
They go for Mobley. Pitt on the board, 2-0.
We talked about the center of attention. He came through immediately.
Press action by the Pitt Panthers, and they'll do their best to try to keep it out of the hands of David Kane, number 11. And this is a great matchup. 2 guys from New York City, Kane and McCullough.
And as you mentioned, Dave, they're good friends, but when the ball goes up, they're arch enemies.
There's Kane. Kane showing some offense, going to the hole. Jones knocks it away. Pitt, 3 on 9. Jones will finish.
Oh, this is the way. If you can write it, this is the way Pitt would want to open up their ball game. 2 slam dunks. They got the crowd into the game. Good defense and hands by Anton Jones.
Big key tonight. David Kane suffers from the flu. Hasn't eaten a lot the last couple of 3 days. So let's see what he has. There's a pass. Scott had it. Lost it. Pitt ball.
Tough pass. Threading the needle there. So now Scott almost comes up with the big play. But Pitt out of the blocks quick. And they needed that, especially coming off that Villanova loss there. Jerry
McCullough struggled against Villanova Wednesday night. Nova came in here, smacked Pitt pretty good, and came away with the victory, 82-76.
That is a great deal of pressure on the point guard, and I think sometimes people fail to realize only a sophomore.
Sharif partially blocked by Derek Brown. Here comes St. John's trying to get its first score. Fred Lyson inside to Middleton. Middleton had McNeil all over his back. Lamont looking for a little call there, didn't get it.
Tough pass. You got to put the bounce pass. You see Brian Mahoney off to a great start in his first year.
That is for sure. St. John's, the victory over Pitt earlier this year. There's Sean L. Scott. Doesn't get the roll. Middleton, he'll go up and wipe it off. No continuation. Sean L. make that Lamont. Draws a foul.
Oh, you see Middleton wearing his red headband for on the road. He's really tough inside, down low, in particular off the offensive board.
Did a great job in the win back on January 9th against Pitt with 20 points. Middleton has it stripped, and another foul. One thing you notice about Lamont Middleton when you watch St. John's, he gets a lot of big guys in trouble. Dickie Simpkins and guys at Providence can tell you all about that.
No doubt about it. And I tell you what, he's only 6'6", but he's got a wide body, and he's got the quickness and deception.
Derek Brown, Middleton, good shot, makes it.
Pitt in a little, a little 2-3 zone. Lamont on the baseline for an 8-footer.
St. John's on the board. It's 4-2 Pitt. St. John's won the first meeting, 85-77 at Alumni Hall in Jamaica, Queens, on the campus of St. John's.
Where St. John's is very effective as their defense has been consistent and steady.
Chris McNeil.
I think he's a player that Pitt has to get into the flow of their offense.
Good battle, McNeil and Middleton down on the low blocks. On that Scott way outside. Freddie Lyson. Derek Brown gets it inside. Middleton scores. It's 6-4 Pitt.
St. John's having good success with the interior pass on the baseline.
Look at the matchup. Mobley and Scott just banging. There's a foul on the play. It's called on Lamont Middleton, his first.
Mobley, Middleton, and of course McNeil, the wide bodies. It's going to be a war in the paint tonight.
A couple of discussions there between Middleton and Mobley, and they continue even after being...
Here's the entry pass, and Mobley, for a big man, has a great pair of hands. Here you see him, he's got great strength. Work ethic has been excellent, according to Coach Evans.
Put off to a good start, shooting 3 for 4. One thing to watch, too, for Mobley, good passer.
Exactly, and when he gets other people in the flow of the game, and McCullough's going, Pitt is very tough.
Pittsburgh leading 6-4, early going here at the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Call it a Mobley, quick pass, nice dump. And McNeil can't finish.
Oh, he can't ask for better than that. Once again, Mobley with the possible assist.
Darnell Scott loses it out of bounds. Turnover for St. John's. Third turnover for the Redmen. Brian Mahoney saying, come on, Nelly, you got to catch that one.
Got to catch it. Those passes I like close. You got to get your hands on it. You got to come up with it.
Mobley with the dump down. Kane picks it off and comes away with it. Nice job by David Kane. Attacks the glass. The runner is no good, but Scott's there. Can he finish? No. Rebound Mobley.
McNeil, a nice job then on the board.
Sharif, nice. English, he scores, and the Panthers have doubled up the Redmen. It's 8-4.
Ahmad Sharif, he's a slasher. Better going to the hole than sticking that J.
There's the good defense. Let's see. It will remain St. John's ball. Sharif involved on the defensive end. And Sean L. Scott didn't get up to the good start. Brian Mahoney will lift him. Mitchell Foster, number 15, is in the game. Foster, a very physical player.
Good role player, comes in with good size. He's a banger, like Scott, and gives good minutes for Brian Steen.
Sloppy play. Here comes McNeil. McCullough. He loses. Regains control and has it knocked away. St. John's ball. An incredulous Lamont Middleton. Foul on Lamont.
Can't believe it. Lamont said, who, me? I didn't do it.
Second foul, and that coming at the 15:43 mark. That is ultra significant for the St. John's Redmen. Panthers on top early. It's 8-4 here at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse.
Ford trucks, the best, never rest.
You're right. Ford does build in toughness. But we also build in things that help you drive safely. Four-wheel anti-lock brakes are standard on Explorer and Bronco.
Built-in child seats are available on Aerostar, and both Aerostar and Club Wagon offer driver-side airbags. Ford builds tough trucks.
But we also build long-term relationships.
The best-built, best-selling American trucks are built Ford tough. Every business has its own language.
Part represents the party. The second part under subpart B application.
And at U.S. Air, we understand them all.
Another option would be to option the script that they didn't option. That's an option.
Purely option.
It's why we offer business travelers more flights than any other airline.
8 meg of RAM and a 1.2 gigabyte internal hard drive.
Everything we do.
How about these megabytes?
U.S. Air begins with you.
Mike's the first guy that ever explained life insurance in a way that we could understand it.
Making things clear is the part of my job I like best.
He showed us all the options that Nationwide has and even helped us choose.
It's training. Seminars and updates. It just never stops at Nationwide.
With life insurance, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And we know Mike.
Agents like Mike are Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
If you rebound, you control the game, and that's what Pitt is doing, at least on this particular opportunity here, Dom.
When you rebound the boards, good things happen. And here, Mobley hits the key guy, Jerry McCullough, and now the slasher to the hoop, Ahmed Sharif. Strong move, and Paul Evans loves that move. He liked to hit the stick to 15, 16-footer, but going to hoop, he's good as anyone.
No question. Pitt Panthers shooting well early, 4 for 6. St. John's struggling at 2 for 5. St. John's has 4 turnovers. Sharif gets inside, makes it a 10-4 ball game. Sharif's got 4.
You come up on Ahmed, you're going to pay a price because he's excellent and quick to the basket.
Charles Minlin in the game for St. John's, number 34. He takes the place of Lamont Middleton, who has 2 fouls. And a foul on Sharif. Second foul on Sharif. Sergio Luke comes in for Freddie Lyson, number 44. Sergio had a marvelous game against Georgetown on Monday with 3 big three-point bombs.
And that's been a little bit of the success that St. John's, here's a turnover for St. John's Day, but the success they've had has been everyone has made a contribution. The other night, Luke and Minlin, great efforts off the bench.
5th turnover for St. John's. Here's McNeil. McNeil attacking glass. Kane gets a piece and comes up with it. Splits the defense, drops it off to Brown. Nice job, and Derek Brown finishes it off.
Well, credit David Kane. Great effort down. Another steal. People fail to realize that he's one of the leading people in the Big East on steals, as is McCullough. You put the ball down, you're going to be in trouble with David Kane around.
Pittsburgh leading 10-6. McCullough.
Nice help by Minlin that time.
Sergio Luke comes up with the steal. St. John's has a chance to get within 2 or 3. Charles Minlin got drilled off the ball. Here's a matchup here, Minlin against McNeil. Brown being guarded by McCullough. Foster with the running hook. And he gets a foul on Mobley. How about the hook shot, Don? Nice to see the hook shot back.
That brings back a lot of good memories. I'll tell you, St. John's has had excellent interior passing, in particular on the baseline area. When you get the ball down here, good things happen in here. Mitchell Foster with a little swing of the hook shot. How sweet it is. He goes to the line to shoot 2.
Marlon Rhymes came into the game, number 20 for Pittsburgh. Lee Green comes in for Derek Brown for St. John's. Here's Lee. Mitchell Foster out of Newark, New Jersey. to Shabazz High School. Saw a lot more time last year, but with the emergence of Freddie Lyson in the lineup, he's gone back to more of a reserve role.
And what's been key, he's accepted it, comes in and does good things, and I'll tell you, he's wide, he's tough inside, and Chanel Scott a little slow coming out of the blocks, he fills the bill.
It's Ron Jones to Rhymes, who just came into the game. McCullough, good matchup here, he and Kane.
That is a marquee matchup because I think both are going to have to work.
Nice pump fake, or pump move by Mobley, and the play finished off by McNeil, and Pitt has a 12-7 lead.
McNeil has really a slow start, but solid and consistent over the last 2/3 of the season.
4 points for McNeil. Luke to Foster, to the lefty Lee Green. Baseline, finds a hole and can't finish. There's Minlin, and he scores. And he'll shoot the free throw too. Charles Minlin off the bench.
The freshman from St. Thomas More, it's outstanding performer for St. John's, and here he gets the baseline. You give the baseline, you're going to be in trouble. Second effort always proves to be a detriment to teams, and here's Minlin off the board. Excellent, goes to the foul line to finish off the conventional three-point play possibly.
He played well against Georgetown last Monday too, 12.7 rebounds in 14 minutes. And he's making his presence known here in this game. It's Pitt by 2, 12-10.
And Dave, talking to Brian Mahoney before the game, he says Charles Minlin has made Lamont Middleton a better player because there's great competitiveness in practice.
Mobley will shoot a couple, and Pitt finding it very effective when they get the ball at the foul line. Instead of shooting, dump it down because the St. John's players are looking up at the basket, so you can get a lot of chippies tonight.
Exactly, and what's happening? See, McCullough and Kane are such threats that you got to play them honest. You see Paul Evans surveying everything that's going on, and obviously he looks at McCullough, and he is the key man. But when you come out and play the point guard, the low post does become available.
Number 40, Chris Gant, has come into the game for the Pitt Panthers, replacing McNeil. Mobley at the line, where he's a 61% shooter. 62 now. Makes his first.
He's improved on the foul line. Last year really struggled. This year, far more competitive. I'll tell you what I like about him tonight, Dave. He's very active. He's as quick a big guy as you'll see in the league.
6'11", 245, just a junior out of Salesian High School in the Bronx, New York. Gant comes in. Can't get it. Hit all over the boards, but Chanel Scott comes up with this one. David Kane, look at the quickness by McCullough with the runner. Can't get it. The roll, look at bodies flying all over. Gant comes up with the loose one.
Good positioning inside, off the boards by Pittsburgh.
McCullough doing a better job looking to set people up. He had a tough night against Nova the other night, Wednesday night. Shot only 1 for 9 from three-point range.
Well, I think when you've been as successful as he has, you think you can do most anything. Here's Chris Gant.
And scores, and I tell you what, the door is open on the St. John's house. 15-10, Pittsburgh.
Getting down low, you got to tighten up that interior D. Too easy for Pitt.
Sergio Luke to Lee Green, Charles Minlin. Minlin strokes from 3, gets the roll. 4-2, 4-2.
Got the house bounce that time.
David King asking for some help. It's a 3-point Pitt lead right now. 12:20 left in the first half.
Hey, both teams very similar. They like to go inside, have very fine point guards running the teams.
Mobley, see ya.
Forget it. The big guy gets it down low. He's going to excite this field house.
He's got 5 points. That's his 37th dunk of the season. Of his 70 field goals, 37 are dunks. Jonell Scott trying to answer. No, sir. Pitt by 5. McCullough for 3. Scott with the rebound.
A little flat, a little too quick. They're getting good stuff inside. Execute, take advantage of the strength right now.
It remains St. John's ball. Pitt fans can't believe that. As you would expect here at Pittsburgh. Timeout on the floor. It will be Pitt ball. They changed the call. 11:38 left first half. It's Pittsburgh by 5. Back with more after these words from our local stations.
When I wanted a mini system, I looked at the situation logically. I wanted high tech and high power, but I didn't want high price. Logically, that said two things to me. Iowa and nobody beats the Whiz.
You looked at it logically? Did you know the Iowa Minimax had a double cassette? Did you know you could change 2 CDs while one is playing? And who took you to Nobody Beats the Whiz? Yeah, you looked at it logically.
The Iowa Minimax had nobody beats the Whiz. The logical choice in home entertainment.
New Orleans is very much a food city.
Where'd you have dinner last night?
People come here to eat. They want an experience.
Well, what did you have?
And it's not supposed to taste like it was cooked in Florida. It's supposed to taste like it was cooked in New Orleans. This is home. So we find the American Express card, it makes the customer feel so at ease, and you never get caught short.
American Express is welcomed at Commander's Palace and other hot spots.
She doesn't want to go back to work for a while. She likes staying home with the baby.
How old's the baby now?
She's 2 months old tomorrow. I swear she's a genius. Yeah.
No catchy jingles.
Look.
No images of snow-capped mountains.
She got lucky.
No rock stars.
You want another Heineken?
Yeah.
No sports stars.
You know, I've been getting
None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
So you like being a dad?
I wouldn't trade it for anything. You gotta try it.
You sound just like my in-laws.
Here's the reason why David Kane has been so important to the St. John's Redmen this year, Dom. 7 assists a game.
Dave, he's got the sixth sense. He looks as if he's going in, but he knows Derek Brown's behind him, finds him, finishes it off. And that's why St. John's has done so well this year.
No question about it. And we're ready for action with Pittsburgh leading St. John's 17-12. Dave Sims and Dom Perna with you at the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. St. John's first place in the Big East. Got a 2-game lead on the Pitt Panthers. Rhymes inside, taken away by Sean L. Scott. He'll lead the break, give it off to Midland. They got numbers, they don't finish it, they call the foul. They don't get the foul. That's why the uproar here at Fitzgerald.
Paul Evans thought they had the double dribble there and looked as if it was a discontinued dribble, but he was fouled. Marlon Rhymes called for a second foul.
Marlon Rhymes, coaching staff. Come on, what are you talking about, huh?
None of that would have occurred if Midland saw Brown on his left. He was wide open.
Sergio Luke comes up with it. He'll shoot 2. Gant gets a foul. That's his first. One of those opportunities where all of a sudden the ball's in your hand and Sergio got rid of it.
Knows what to do with it.
Get a couple at the line.
Well, Sergio the other night had the Guardian going crazy with those three-point shots of his.
Sergio Luke scores from the line. And that's his first make. Big East plays, now 1 for 4.
He's got a funny spin on his ball.
He really
different
does.
rotation, but the other night he was drilling them.
St. John's to within 3.
St. John's will stay with the man-to-man throughout. Pitt may change, go to some zone usually.
Jones with a good up fake. Can't score, had an easy one. Another easy one, and Luke comes up with the rebound. Boy, what a wasted trip. But Rhymes steals it right back. Gant. Jones. Nice job. Good defense by Luke and a good finish by Jones.
Antoine Jones sat out last season, but I think he's got great explosiveness. That time controlled himself, so he didn't charge it to Luke.
12 points for Antoine Jones. Round to the hole with the left hand is good.
Goes by the bat. Both teams getting inside each other very easily.
Derek is, after all, left-handed. He's got 4 points. McCullough inside, can't get the continuation. Foul on Sean L. Scott.
Jerry McCullough probably has as good a change of pace dribble as any guard in the league. That time, going right, stutters, comes back left, foul. Tough to defend him.
Foul on Sean L. Scott. And is that McCullough tying his shoe? Take a look right now at the Ford scoreboard. Look at other Big East games. How about Georgetown losing in overtime to Providence? They take some of the heat off of Rick Barnes up there.
Well, it's a big win. Obviously, Georgetown had a tough game at St. John's, but Providence needed that win desperately.
Saw that Florida State knocked off UConn. That game played at the Hartford Civic Center.
Come on, guys.
Jerry McCullough at the line. third in assists in the Big East at 6.3.
Coming into the season, Paul Evans knew that Jerry McCullough had the physical tools to become a great point guard. He said just an understanding of the entire game, which he's grown with all the time, make him a great one.
Maurice Brown in game for St. John's, replacing David Kane. We mentioned David Kane suffering from the flu. So now Scott, baseline move, has it rejected by McNeil.
Good defensive position by McNeil, and Chanel Scott goes down, and Pittsburgh has numbers again.
Nice job inside. Chris Gant, he's got 4 points, and Pitt leads at 23-16.
Dave, when teams are successful at this time of the year, it's usually because of the bench.
Biggest lead so far for the Panthers right now. The answer from St. John's. Chanel Scott finally scores. He's 1 for 5, 23-18. Jerry McCullough, 4-3. Still can't find the range. McNeil comes up with the loose one.
McCullough struggling from the outside, but I'll tell you, this is the best way to come out of a slump.
Chanel Scott in foul trouble. McCullough goes right by it.
Found the seam, having trouble with the J. Said, hey, I better go to the hole, and he did. Right.
St. John's has David Kane ready to come back into the game. Now, where's St. John's going to get its offense from? Sergio Luke, he answered that question quickly, didn't he?
He answered it for you, Sergio, with that little runner.
Sergio averaging 4.3 points per ball game, 40% shooter. 5-point deficit now for the Redmen. Mont Middleton set to come back too for St. John's.
Nice hedge that time by Chanel Scott.
The man for 3, Rhymes, loose ball. McNeil comes up with it. Rhymes again. Nice flick shot. They're going to wipe it off. They wipe it off. Sergio Luke drew the foul and will walk the floor.
Well, St. John's knows that Marlon Rhymes can stick that jump shot. They came up on him. He took the lane, ran into a little trouble. One ingredient that St. John's does extremely well in their D is that they pick up the loose people. That time, charge Luke right there.
Third foul on Marlon Rhymes. And he'll take a seat. He's replaced by Garrett Thomas, number 4. As you see, Middleton back into the game for St. John's.
Pitt's defense very active, very aggressive, as is St. John's.
Ryan Mahoney looking for a winning combination. Carl Beckett touches the ball for the first time. Brown for 3. Yes, sir. 2-point ball game that quickly.
Well, you watch this game, and it looks as if Pitt has the hammer, but the Johnnies have hung tough.
The entry pass to the big people's getting in there quite easily.
It really is. St. John has to tighten up their interior defense.
Thomas got the 3. But Garrett Thomas, not bad off the bench, drills a 3, his first shot.
He's had some big nights for Pittsburgh. He is a 3-point shooter, just a freshman, has great confidence, as was displayed then.
Out of MacArthur High School in Houston, Texas. David Kane matched up against Jerry McCullough. Coming up on the 7:30 mark, Pittsburgh leads 28-25. Kane pulls, shoots, can't get it. Fouls on Jerry McCullough. Jerry's second foul.
What David Kane and Jerry McCullough do for their teams, Dave, is when they're in a jam offensively, they have the ability to bring it back out, set it up, and see what's available.
David Kane sat the bench behind some pretty good point guards over the last 3 years. Jason Buchanan among them. And I was asking David the other day, I said, hey, are you surprised at the way things have gone for you? Averaging 7 assists, 3 turnovers, 13 points. I said, no, I knew I could do it. I just never had a chance.
Well, I'll tell you, he had great support from his family, and I'll tell you, I give him a great deal of credit because it's not easy to sit out 3 years basically, play very little, and then come in your senior year and have the standout season that he's having.
Not only that, how many kids would be the good soldier and be a good teammate, not be a disruptive force, and accept the role as it comes to you? David Kane doesn't get the roll. Nice rebound by Mobley.
Mobley, if he doesn't beat you down with one of his elbows, it'll scare you when he gets that ball.
Andre Aldrich, who played so well against Villanova Wednesday night, number 12, controlling action right now. Mobley, boy, when he swings, boy, that's a big step. Foster with the rebound.
And he gets there quick, Dave. He really moves that body into position.
David Kane to Foster. Foster up top, 3, no good. Look at Middleton with the rebound, but it's blocked. Foster comes up with it. I don't know if that was a coach's shot down. 6'9", taking a 3 straight on.
Foster last season did stick some jump shots 15, 16 feet. That was a little deeper than I think Ryan wanted him to take, however.
Brown gets a step. Carl Beckett studies, shoots, can't get it. Andre Aldridge. Inside, it will remain Pittsburgh ball. Timeout on the floor. Timeout on the floor. 6:25 left, first half here at Fitzgerald. It's Pittsburgh leading by 4.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. Ask them why Taurus is the best-selling car in America. Why F-Series is the best-selling truck in America. In fact, ask them why 5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America are Fords. Ask and they'll tell you. Quality breeds success. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
Some unknown long-distance companies are promising you fax connections as fast as AT&T's. But a promise isn't a guarantee. And AT&T's advanced network guarantees your faxes won't get blocked. So they'll connect on the first try. Or we'll credit you if you're not satisfied with any fax that doesn't. It's your choice. Faxes that'll save you time, guaranteed. Or some other company that could be sending you the wrong signal.
The AT&T Best in the Business Guarantee. Call for details.
There was no problem with the insurance, but when the car got back from the shop, I told Joe here that it just didn't look right.
See, that's where Nationwide's Blue Ribbon Claim Guarantee kicks in.
I gotta say, Nationwide really went to bat for me. It got fixed.
That's the deal. Satisfaction guaranteed in writing.
Joe's right. That's a big difference.
Oh, it's one heck of a difference.
Agents like Joe are Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
This copyrighted telecast is produced by authority of the Big East Conference and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or any other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Big East Conference is prohibited. We got a good one here at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Dave Sims and Dom Perno with you. Panthers lead it by 4. Rebounding story right now, pretty even at 11 apiece. After St. John's had a 4-1 lead in that department early on.
Both teams really banging on the boards, getting good offensive opportunities inside.
Thomas inside. Gant finishes nicely, 30-24. Pittsburgh, 6 points for Gant off the bench.
Gant, a big factor coming off the bench, as you mentioned, Dave, has gotten inside easily. And, of course, Middleton has 2 fouls. He doesn't want to pick up his 3rd.
Middleton in scoring territory and finishes. Good job by Lamont Middleton. A pass terrific by Dirk Brown.
Away from the D, excellent. Lamont spins, finishes it off, and answers Chris Gant's hoop.
6 points for Lamont. Thomas way outside. NBA 3. Derek Thomas with a quick release.
No doubt about that one. He felt it. He's got it going. It's his 2nd hoop.
He's got 2 field goals, both of them 3s. Derek make that Middleton loose ball. Gant comes up with it. Panthers by 7. The trailer, Gant, what a reception. Call him for the travel. Boy, he did his best to try to draw a continuation, but failed. But it was a super effort.
Great effort by Chris Gant. Tough pass to handle by Aldridge. You see him coming down the lane. He threw it behind him, but I'll tell you, give him credit for coming up with that play and almost finishing it off.
That's an outstanding athletic effort. Outstanding.
Gant has come into this game fired up. 3 big hoops. Excellent effort on both boards.
Turnover story right now. Both teams headed quickly to double figures. We're coming up on the 5-minute mark right now. Derek Brown got a 3-point shot. No, sir. Rebound. That'll be a jump ball. And let's find that possession error. It remains St. John's ball. Panthers getting good production off the bench. Thomas and Gant, each with 6 points. pushing that 5 count. Luckily, in the college ranks, you can go back court on the inbound.
Right. And David Kane does that as well as anyone. He'll retreat, go behind the line.
Foster, here's Carl Beckett. Fades for through, just inside the 2-point range there. Misses. Aldridge penetrates quite easily. Blocked by Foster. Foul on the play on Mitchell Foster. But they are getting inside the paint on St. John's at will.
And that's very unusual for St. John's defense, Dave. Usually when one player goes by another, someone will step in to pick up. No one here. And Aldridge, excellent slice to the basket, drawing the foul on Foster.
Sergio Luke back into the game. He replaces Carl Beckett. Andre Aldridge at the line. It'll be his first attempt at the free throw line in Big East play.
Well, Aldridge, good minutes against Villanova the other night when Jerry McCullough was having a rough go of it. But he's come in tonight, as has Ant Thomas, filling a nice role off the bench.
Scott in, Foster out for St. John's. Andre Aldridge, freshman out of Holy Cross High School in Queens, New York.
Great career, 24, 25 points a game. And he's a freshman. He's grown into his role. He's hung there on the bench. Watch Jerry McCullough now going in and get good minutes.
St. John's trying to cut into the biggest Pitt lead. Kane, no. Sergio Luke. Pump fake. Set back. St. John's ball. 35-26. 4:23 left here at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse.
Well, you see Luke with a great offensive bound, but the quickness of Antoine Jones to the board puts it into the stands, and Pitt has been tough inside. We know Mobley can slash balls into the stands, but now Antoine Jones, good quickness.
Mobley takes a seat. McNeil back into the game for Pittsburgh. Shot clock at 23 for St. John's. Kane, Brown, for 3.
Derek Brown knows his spot on the right side of the court, gets there. David Kane knows it well also. Gives it to him, finishes it off, and cuts into that lead.
10 points for Derek Brown. He's hot. 4 for 5 from the field. Pittsburgh with some terrific balance so far tonight. 7 Panthers with 4 points or more. Thomas tries it again from 3. No, sir. Kane wins the battle.
David Kane rebounding from the guard position. Amazing.
David Kane wins that battle. St. John's, though, down by 6. 3:51 to go here at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. We'll be back right after this.
Comfort in a 4-wheel drive. Amazing.
I got a big crew, and I need a lot of space.
It makes me feel tall.
It's tough, but refined. Kind of like me.
It's got it all.
Why do more people find themselves in a Ford Explorer than any other vehicle in its class? For as many reasons as there are Explorers.
Finders keepers.
Find yourself in an Explorer.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Bill Walsh for Sharp.
In sports, you'd better know where your X's and O's are. It's no different in business. You need a game plan. And Sharp's got winning game plans for your business. A booklet that'll help you find the right copier, like Sharp's high-volume duplicating system. It's going to increase your productivity and reduce your operating expenses. And how Sharp, the #1 fax company, can show you a plain paper laser fax with the lowest cost per copy in the industry. So call 1-800-BE-SHARP for your winning game plan. Believe me, nothing beats winning.
Fired up crowd here at the field house, the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh. And how about some range here on Garrett Thomas?
Check where his feet are. He's 4 feet behind the three-point shot. Unbelievable. An NBA shot. And if anything can get you going, it's a three-point. Here, Kane hits the seam, and Derek Brown. He loves the right side of the floor, Dave. He's drilled it again, but credit David Kane with that assist.
3-point percentages, both teams at 40%. Thomas saves. Luke takes it back. Surge, 4-3, short. And Gant comes up with the rebound.
St. John's has forced 3 or 4 shots this first half, and Pitt has taken advantage of it every time down the floor.
Andre Aldridge, Jerry McCullough on the bench for Pittsburgh. Gant has to double pump. Big rebound by Shawnell Scott. Minlin had released, but Scott didn't see it.
Thomas a good job of attacking the ball.
Free look by Brown makes Pitt pay for it. He's got 13.
That three-point shot brings teams back quickly. You can't give it. You got to play out on Derek Brown.
St. John's was down by as many as 9 points. Now down by 3, 35-32. Ball knocked out of bounds by David Kane. St. John's doing a little bit better, keeping the ball out of the paint. It's all night, the first entry pass into the paint whenever Pitt wanted it.
Exactly. What's interesting, they've got some freshmen and people coming off the bench that are doing a good job defensively for them. St. John's likes to collapse on their defense, not doing a good job early in this ball game. They're going to have to slide over and help out with the big people.
See what St. John's does here. Nice block by David Kane. Redmen on a 6-0 run. Back at the 4:40 mark, they were down 35-26. It's now 35-32 Pitt. Here's McNeil. Sergio Luke, very active.
Just what we're talking about, Dave. Better help down low.
Aldridge forces a 3. David King, nice job with the flip.
Play.
St. John's with numbers. Midland, hello. They wipe it off. They wipe it off.
Brian Mahoney cannot believe it. That was one of the greatest plays I've seen in the game. Tipped it. Take a look at this play here. David Kane has got a lot of answers, but here's another one. Just flips it up to himself. But here he is. He goes down. He knows the man's in the middle, but doesn't realize the defensive player steps in, and the charge is called negating the hoop.
Boy, that was a beauty. Garrett Thomas got the job done on defense for Pitt. Gant with the elbow. No on the roll, gets it, rebound right back and scores. Chris Gant has been outstanding off the bench this evening. He's got 8 points.
His game is off the glass. He's doing it as well as anyone.
Pittsburgh by 5, inside of 2 minutes. Inland posting, Gant on the foul. Can't believe it. Not many of the 6,000 plus do. Second foul on Gant.
A little nickel dimer that time, although he's playing behind him, Dave. So it looks like a foul, and that's why you call it.
Gant with his second foul. And the Ford scoreboard. Take a look at action around the Big East. Miami pouring it on Syracuse. We did that game down there last year, Dom, and no surprise here.
You can believe it because Miami, at Miami, can give anyone a headache.
Oh, Leonard Hamilton. You saw that coming, didn't you? All you coaches, you knew when Leonard took that job, you knew that type of thing would happen. And how about Seton Hall trailing at Boston College? That's not a major surprise by any stretch of the imagination.
DC playing very well this year. They got great confidence in themselves.
Loose ball to Minlin. Thomas comes up with it. 5-point advantage for Pittsburgh. Lendo Antigua came into the game a while ago. Gives it right up.
Actually, since Luke and Minlin have come into the game, St. John's defense have picked up.
Kane, no, rebound. They call the travel. They call the travel on Shawnell Scott. 10th turnover for St. John's. Pitt's got 7.
It's an interesting call because he wasn't down yet, Dave, and he got rid of the ball. Close, but official right on it. John Cahill calls the travel.
David Kane, a 46% shooter on the season, 0 for 4 thus far for St. John's. Thomas, another 3. Too long, Sergio Luke. Sergio's made some big plays for St. John's.
Done a great, excellent job on the boards coming in. He and Minlin, very active and aggressive.
We're at 57 seconds and counting, first half. Pittsburgh by 5, 37-32. Kane to Sergio Luke. Buy some time. Can't get it. Battling underneath. Derek Brown had one and couldn't finish it off. Mobley, nice job with the pass to Thomas. And one!
You see Thomas sneaking down the floor, and Mobley He's kind of excited about that play, but here's a big man that's thinking that we have to get it up the floor. Usually you got, but take a look at that quick. Has it, gives it off to Garrick Thomas, and uses the glass well to finish it off.
Fabulous presence of mind by Eric Mobley. He'll take a seat. Ryan Brush comes in. Going to spare Mobley any more foul trouble with 35 seconds to go, but that was a marvelous play. Garrick Thomas.
The sixth sense to know that the man is down the floor. Tough to react, and he's 6'11".
Foul on that play. Ryan Brush in the game for one play, gets a foul immediately.
Now you see Mobley right there. Well, we talked about him being an intimidator, being an assist-type player, getting other people involved, and he's doing it this evening.
Interesting story about the Pitt bench. They come into tonight's game, the bench averaging 20.1 points per ball game in the Big East. And they're got to be close to that, at least halfway home now.
Exactly, and talking to Paul Evans, he believes that's one of the ingredients that have led to their successes this season.
Shonell Scott at the line. 18 points off the bench for Pitt this evening. And there you have Shonell Scott knocking down the first of two at the line. Shonell would be averaging 20 points a game if he'd improved his free throw shooting.
That's it, shooting 50% from the line. He's got a nice stroke, too.
That'll kill you.
A little concentration, a little rhythm off that line.
5-point game. Pitt holds the advantage right now, the final 25 seconds.
And of course, St. John's, they'll collapse their defense. You don't want McCullough to find the seam.
See McCullough sitting there dribbling off the clock, resets his shirt. All right, now we're ready to go. Final 10 seconds.
He does it all out there.
McCullough wants to do it himself, gives up the dribble.
Good
That's
defense.
a force. And Brush had an opportunity and loses it with 1 second left. They made the right pass, would have had a layup.
Exactly, right there. Of course, Brush just coming in off the bench. But they worked the ball to where they wanted it to be. Underneath the hoop, goes off Brush's leg.
And that'll do it. 20 minutes complete here at the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Pitt Panthers with a terrific effort from their bench players, getting 18 points. Panthers lead the St. John's Redmen 39-34. Dave Sims and Dom Perno with you, back with our halftime festivities after these words from our local stations. Good job.
You've seen Sanders score 6 points. Now see him try for 10. You've seen Griffey hit 1 grand slam. Now see him hit 5. You've seen Powell get 29-4. Now see if he can beat a 9-8. It's Foot Locker's Slam Fest. The hottest professional athletes from a list of sports too long to list. All vying for the Foot Locker Slam Fest title. Not to mention $50,000. See the most competitive names in sports trading money shots and simply showing off. So for basketball's finer points, watch Foot Locker Slam Fest. Halftime during local college games.
Well, I think that over 10% of the U.S. population goes to bed hungry. Like my restaurant, most restaurants have extra food, but they don't necessarily know what to do with that food. The most effective way that I've found is through a national organization called Share Our Strength. They connect the restaurants with the shelters because American Express has provided the funding. Their dollars are actually going to connect food with someone who needs it.
American Express supports Share Our Strength and the many restaurants that believe nobody should have to go hungry.
In 90 years as a truck company, we've learned the value of anti-lock brakes and all-wheel drive traction to help carry your family safely through all of life's little ups and downs. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
Ranger fans, you could win the grand prize trip for 2 to Edmonton to see the Rangers take on the Oilers in the Power Stick Power Play sweepstakes. During the month of March, if your name is chosen in the Power Stick Power Play period, you'll win 2 tickets to an upcoming Rangers home game and be entered into the grand prize drawing. If the Rangers score a goal in the Power Stick Power Play period, you'll win a TV. To enter, send your name, address, and daytime phone number to Power Stick Power Play, P.O. Box JAF 3210, New York, New York. Enter today.
Roy Rogers announces the arrival of Roy's Roasters,
honey-basted, slow-roasted chicken that will leave you speechless. It's so good. New Roy's Roasters. A one-of-a-kind place for a one-of-a-kind taste.
Hi, everybody. Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk. Big East favorite Seton Hall is on the outside looking in at this point in the conference schedule. Second place, tied with Boston College. They head to Boston College tonight to play the Eagles, and they trail at halftime 31-28. Let's check out the highlights of what's happening up there as P.J. Carlissimo's team playing a little more relaxed lately. Howard Isley stealing the bounce pass and then finding Malcolm Huckabee perfectly for the layup, and BC had an early 4-point lead. Then just before the half, Danny Hurley goes length of the court here, breaks through the defense, able to lay it up. That cut the lead to 3, and that's where they stand. It's 31-28. Seton Hall trailing Boston College at halftime. Surprising Miami and Leonard Hamilton have caused huge problems in the Big East, especially in Florida. They're at it again tonight. Mike Gardner bombs in one from three-point land, and Syracuse was down by 12, 36-24. Then final seconds of the first half, a shot by Anthony Lawrence. That goes down. It's a three-pointer. Miami 45-30. Now in the second half, the lead still stands at 15, 59-44. Elsewhere in the Big East, Florida State 86-74. The Huskies have lost 4 in a row now to drop a 9-8. Providence in overtime over 23rd-ranked Georgetown. St. Joe's by 11 over Villanova. UMass routs Rutgers, dropping the Scarlet Knights to 10-10. St. Francis big over Rider. Army gets crushed at Holy Cross in Worcester. Navy by 9 over Lehigh. Vermont destroyed by Hartford. And a little dose of his own medicine for Pete Carrill. Brown wins 48-41. We'll be back with more in just a moment from the MSG Sports Desk.
You know, I enjoy performing, but I also enjoy working out. That's why I go to General Nutrition Centers and get Cybergenics Phase 1. With Phase 1, you get a training tape and manual plus 5 state-of-the-art supplements. Hey, if this guy can do it, you can do it. Get Cybergenics at GNC, the authority in sports nutrition products.
Finding your way through a maze of cars, suddenly claiming they're as good as Toyota can be hard. But if you follow the path more traveled, you'll find nobody has quality like Toyota quality. Take Corolla. While it shares the beautiful styling of Camry, it's all new from the ground up, with safety features like a standard airbag and available anti-lock brakes. Corolla starts around $11,000, an attractive price for any car, but an outstanding value for a new Toyota.
Word just into the MSG Sports Desk that Wimbledon champion and author Arthur Ashe has passed away here in New York. He died approximately 3 o'clock this afternoon from complications associated with AIDS. He died at the Cornell Medical Center here in New York City. He was 49 years old. Bernard King returns to the Nets for a second tour of duty. First and foremost, Bernard is a scorer, something that Chuck Daly and the Nets need off the bench. King, though, has been a royal pain in Washington since returning from injury. Now he claims he's ready to take any position that Chuck Daly will offer him. Riddick Bowe, huge favorite tonight in the heavyweight championship bout right here at Madison Square Garden against Michael Dokes. They get set to kick it off around 10 o'clock. We'll have the full report for you on the half-hour edition of the MSG Sports Desk coming up at 11 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.
Jim Abbott, one of baseball's most competitive left-handers. Jimmy Key, the crafty veteran lefty who loves Yankee Stadium. Spike Owen, a hard-nosed shortstop with great range and a consistent bat. Paul O'Neill, proven left-handed power and a great arm in the outfield. Wade Boggs, 5-time American League batting champion and a solid third baseman. The new New York Yankees are ready to do battle, along with Tartable, Mattingly, Gallego, and Perez. Yankees baseball on MSG Network, the best in the game. The Knicks are back at the Garden to take on the Miami Heat again after Sports Desk and Game Night Sunday at 7 here on MSG Network.
Olsen intercepted, Gardner shoots, it's good!
Rangers are on home ice to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins after Sports Desk and Game Night Wednesday at 7 here on MSG Network.
I'm Al Troutwig. These two future stars have just told me they want to compete one day in the most important dog show in the world. That, of course, is the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. The German Shepherd and the Husky are only two of the 144 breeds and varieties and 2,500 dogs that are making plans to be in New York City.
Pedigree Food for Dogs presents the 170th annual Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. Opening night, Monday night at 8 on MSG2.
Hi, I'm Rami Broughton. I'm Colleen Gardner. And I'm Rosalind Van Beesbrook. On behalf of all the Ranger wives, we're asking you to help prevent child abuse. Please join us and the entire Rangers team at the Lake Isle Country Club in Eastchester, New York on Wednesday, February 17th.
Team up with the Rangers and help prevent child abuse. It's one of our biggest goals of the season.
See you on February 17th.
An evening with the Rangers for the prevention of child abuse. For more information, call 914-997-2642.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh. Time now for our Big East halftime report. And we begin with the Sharp Player of the Week, Adrian Autry of Syracuse.
Autry wins the award after leading the Orangemen to a 2-0 week. He scored a career-high 31 points and dished out 10 assists in a great win over Pittsburgh.
The Sharp Rookie of the Week is John Wallace, also of Syracuse.
Wallace wins the award for the second time this season. Wallace's field goal percentage is 60% for the year.
These awards are part of a season-long sponsorship by Sharp Electronics. Now for a look around the Big East, the standings, everybody bunching up in the middle dump.
Every night is a battle in the Big East Conference, and you could see it by a great win of Providence beating Georgetown, Villanova handing Pittsburgh a loss the other night. It's coming down to the wire, and all games are big.
No question about it. Coming up on your Big East schedule this week, Georgetown at Syracuse, an important match there.
Big one at the Dome, and there'll be about 38,000.
Pittsburgh at Seton Hall, St. John's at Providence, and Nova at Connecticut, always a big tilt. And Miami, very difficult team to play down there.
They're playing very well, in particular on their home court.
No question about it. Villanova will finish out the week against Hofstra. Time now for the women's report. And we begin with the Women's Player of the Week, Pam Odom of St. John's.
Odom paced the Express to a 2-1 week with win over Rutgers and Pittsburgh and a loss to Georgetown.
The Women's Rookie of the Week is Holly Rillinger from Miami.
Rillinger helped propel the Hurricanes to the first place in the league with a 2-0 week on the road.
Student athletes on Big East campuses achieve significant athletic and academic success. Tonight, Gillette and the Big East proudly recognize the Right Guard Academic Challenge Award winner, and that's Kieran Walsh of St. John's.
A senior backfielder for St. John's was named Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
And the Soft and Dry Academic Challenge Award winner is Kerry Curran of Boston College.
Kerry, the starting point guard and team leader for Boston College, has had a great start this season.
There you have it, the Big East halftime report. We'll be back with a look at the stats and highlights after we pause for these words from our local stations.
Bill is back.
Don't drive angry.
Back in charge. Back in action.
I'm not going to live by their rules anymore.
Back in shape.
Don't you worry about cholesterol, love handles?
Whoa. Back for the craziest day of his life.
Yeah.
Bill Murray. Groundhog Day. Rated PG at theaters Friday.
Get me a boat to take me there. Silver sands on the white hot beach. All of my friends and time to spare. A cold silver bullet in my reach. It's the taste of the Rockies with the cold crisp air. The silver bullet. I'm gonna get me a boat some way, somehow. And a smooth silver bullet now. Coors Light, the right there now.
In 90 years as a truck company, we've learned the value of anti-lock brakes and all-wheel drive traction to help carry your family safely through all of life's little ups and downs. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
If your business gives up the quality of AT&T International Long Distance and calls Italy with someone else, here's your big savings.
3 coins in the fountain.
Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense. If you give up AT&T quality and call from Phoenix to Dallas with someone else, here's your big savings. Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
So you're really giving all this up?
Who knows what's right? All I know is how I feel. And I'm feeling I missed enough of Jenny's life already. I don't want to miss any more.
You guys gonna be okay on one salary?
Actually, our broker at Payne Weber made it a little easier. When she heard I was pregnant, she got us to start investing long term, to give us more options down the road.
How'd she know you were thinking about all this back then?
I'm not sure I was, until she asked.
Tonight's second half of Big East basketball is brought to you by U.S. Air. Every time we fly, everything we do, U.S. Air begins with you. John Hancock Financial Services. Real life, real answers. Sharp Electronics. From sharp minds come sharp products. AT&T. The right choice. And by Apple. If you want a computer that's easy to use, there's still only one way to go. Macintosh, the easy way. We're at halftime, and it's the Pittsburgh Panthers leading St. John's by the score of 39-34 here at the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Dave Sims and Don Perno with you. Heck of a first half with both teams. Every time they wanted to get into the paint, first pass got there, and they did something with it.
They got in very well. Unfortunately, St. John's took some erratic shots. Field goal percentage 39% for St. John's, which is unusual. Pittsburgh 52 did a great job.
No question about it. There's some of the numbers. St. John's shooting 39%. Pittsburgh, after struggling the last 2 games from the field, doing a good job at 52%.
Getting inside the paint, doing a beautiful job. 24 points. That's an excellent first half.
No doubt about it. Rebounds, as we look at that story, St. John's with an edge, and St. John's also on the short side here in the turnovers.
Exactly. I think both teams doing a good job off both boards. It's going to be interesting this half.
David Kane was instrumental, certainly, in this game early on. And check out this play here as he sets up Derek Brown.
Here's the sense to know there's someone behind you, and he finds Derek Brown once again and chalk up another assist.
Eric Mobley's favorite offensive play. You're going to see it right here.
Oh, well, this is a great pass inside here to Mobley. Doesn't put it on the floor, and forget that one.
No doubt. Jerry McCullough. Watch the quickness here.
Well, he's having trouble from the outside, so he said, hey, I'm going to go to the basket, and he can wiggle with the best.
Now, if you leave Derek Brown open, he can really hurt you from long range.
I keep mentioning that right side of the floor. He's a lefty, and he loves it, and he's been drilling it.
And we found out one kid has tremendous range in this game, Garrick Thomas, who came off the bench for some big points.
That's right, I'll tell you. And this time here, Mobley finds him underneath. He uses the glass real well. Excellent way to finish it off.
Garrick Thomas shot 2 of the longer threes you'll see tonight. And there you have a look at, we'll take a look at the leading scores as we are back in action. With Jerry McCullough back in the game controlling for the Panthers. They lead by 5. They go quickly inside to McNeil, and he'll get to the line to shoot a couple.
Chris McNeil quietly is doing his job tonight, as is Chanel Scott, but a lot of action on the glass.
Chanel Scott, his second foul, and Chanel had a very tough first half, shooting only 1 for 5. Meanwhile, McNeil went 2 for 4, 4 points, along with 4 rebounds. Chris good on his first. Conley knocks down the second one. That pushes the Pitt advantage to 7 early on here in the second half.
Jerry McCullough extending the defense on David Kane, and that's been a very interesting and intriguing matchup tonight.
Fred Lyson took a look. Pitt bench screaming for a walk. Kane, Brown in the backcourt. Lyson, Middleton, and Scott up front for St. John's. Sharif and McCullough in the backcourt for Pittsburgh, with Mobley, McNeil, and Jones up front. Middleton outfights McNeil and gets the bounce.
Of course, what's happened, Lamont's got a little more room because Mobley has to concern himself with Chanel Scott that time. Had the baseline, finished it off with a little J.
Jones posting, beats it too, and a foul. Let's see who they call it on. It'll be the third foul for Chanel Scott. Third foul, and that puts St. John's in big trouble. We're not even through 1 minute second half.
And St. John's can ill afford to have that #1 big man at foul trouble. And he looks over to Brian Mahoney and he said, Coach, I can handle it. I know I have 3, but I'll tell you, credit Eric Mobley to a great move inside the baseline. Chanel did not have bad defense, but the quickness of Eric Mobley was outstanding on that particular play.
With his size, 6'11", 245, that quickness could take him a long way to the next level, i.e. the NBA.
Well, there's a lot of scouts looking at him, and any guy that rebounds and has quickness at that size, they have to like in that next level.
And he passes, too.
Certainly does. And we know he can dunk the ball.
There's no question about that. There's the score. Pittsburgh leading St. John's. Redmen need to get something going offensively. Scott with 3 fouls. Fred Lyson, quiet first half. Baseline, Chanel Scott finesses it up and scores. He'll go for the 3-point play.
Well, that time Eric Mobley got caught on the opposite side of the hoop that time, leaving Chanel Scott free underneath. He went to the side of the basket where he thought the ball was going to come to. Came back opposite him, and Scott will go to the line to finish off possibly a 3-point play.
Second foul on Mobley. I mentioned right in the first half, Chanel Scott only a 50% shooter from the free throw line. He's averaging 15-1 a game, and there you see why he's not averaging 20 points or better.
Exactly, it really hurts, and you know, a big guy like himself and Mobley and McNeil, they're going to get fouled, and that's a natural. They're pushing the ball to you offensively. Got to make that foul shot.
Sharif going against Derek Brown. There's Anton Jones, Jerry McCullough. What a pass. Nice pass. But Jones was out of bounds. But a good look on the penetration. It's a 9th turnover for Pittsburgh. Ford scoreboard will tell us some scores, and look at Miami still holding off Syracuse, 6.5 to go. Seton Hall trailing at Boston College. Our score, it's Pitt 42-38 over St. John's. Now with 18 minutes left in the ball game. Lyson wide open for 3 and puts it away.
Quiet the first half. Matter of fact, didn't see an awful lot of minutes. Comes in, makes a big 3 to bring the Johnnies to 1.
First bucket for Lyson. He's got 3. McNeil. No. Loose ball. Derek Brown. If he saves it and does. Oh! Didn't get it. He had Middleton for the chippy.
Nice idea. Derek Brown, good quickness with John Cahill right on the call. Here it is, and take a look for yourself. You call it. Oh, he did step out of bounds. That right foot.
1-point game. Pittsburgh up by 1 on St. John's. Tom, you go to Mobley here with Scott with 3 fouls?
Definitely. You got to look inside. He's been open. He's a tough guy to handle.
Almost by Ahmad Sharif. Got Derek Brown in there. McCullough comes over to get a drink of water. There you see Derek Brown.
It's amazing the way these players, they know enough to wait, hang, but as soon as they feel the contact, they release that rock.
Sharif goes by, has a nickname, Doc. Look at Brian Mahoney, St. John's coach. Great job. No one expected him to do this well. First place in his 10th game in the conference.
Oh, they were selected 9th preseason poll by the coaches. But what do coaches know anyway?
43-41, Pittsburgh over St. John's. All kinds of quickness in this matchup. Kane with the ball going against McCullough.
A little box set by St. John's.
Brown pops out from the pick. Loose ball. Lyson, nice play, and then he couldn't save it. He allowed McCullough to go get it and waited for the save, but couldn't stop it.
Nice idea.
Job.
Nice idea that time.
Pittsburgh had a 35-26 lead. The 4:40 mark, first half. St. John's looking to tie it. Kane. And a good defensive job by McCullough and Sharif. They got a piece of the ball off the killer crossover. Looked a little bit like Tim Hardaway there.
You see Brian Mahoney here, not exactly excited about that play. Great outlet by Chanel Scott. Here's a change of pace right here by Kane, but the hand reaches in and causes David just a little to turn it over.
A lot of people got a piece of that one. McNeil in the action too. Sergio Luke back in, number 3 for St. John's.
Good screen and roll by Ahmad and McNeil.
McCullough just can't find the stroke from 3-point range. Went 1 for 9 against Villanova. Went 0 for 2 in the first half. Good entry pass inside. Middleton will shoot 2 at the line. The foul on McNeil.
St. John's does extremely well, Davis. They seal and they put the ball away from the defense. And they utilize the bounce pass. And when Lamont gets it inside, he's very difficult to play.
Most certainly is. Middleton will make his free throws. He's 69% from the line. Pitt so far has gone without a field goal, and we've played close to 4 minutes. Middleton with the friendly roll. Lamont Middleton, as we mentioned, 20 points versus Pitt in the first meeting, a St. John's win. Lamont had 11 points and 5 rebounds in the win against Georgetown earlier this week. One of the tougher players that you'll see in the Big East, and quite possibly destined for a career in Europe. First tie of the ball game, 16:24 to go. And the Pitt crowd trying to get their ball club back into it.
And St. John's has battled back primarily by utilizing the offensive board.
Sharif takes a hop. They call the bump before on Brown. Second foul on Dirk. You notice Jerry McCullough is shooting 1 for 5. I guess we had to look for him to put it on the floor when trying to score.
Exactly. He's really struggling from the outside.
Good dump down to Mobley. What a pass by Mobley to Sharif. That is a gorgeous pass. 45-43 Pittsburgh.
And he had to thread the needle. Not an awful lot of room to get that pass through.
Middleton. Mobley's got, check that, Scott's got 3 fouls. Scott being battled by Mobley inside. There's Scott.
What a battle down low, Dave. Chanel Scott and Eric Mobley. They're banging each other, moving each other. And of course, when that happens, it leaves room for Antoine Jones.
Alley-oop. Hello!
Well, that's a great way for Jerry McCullough to come out of his slump, find the open man. He did it beautifully that time.
Ahmad Sharif, 9 points. Opens up a 4-point Pittsburgh lead. St. John's going to talk about it here at the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh. We're back right after this.
U.S. Air Reservations, how can I help you?
Hi, who are you?
2 to Washington, please. After you.
Yours, sir.
Thanks.
You're traveling light?
Did you have fun flying?
Yeah. You enjoy your flight with US Air.
Thank you for flying on U.S. Air.
You'll hear one word again and again from the people of U.S. Air.
What's better for you?
For one very good reason.
Everything we do.
Do it.
US Air.
You go to gate 10.
That's where I know.
Some unknown long-distance companies are promising you fax connections as fast as AT&T's. But a promise isn't a guarantee. And AT&T's advanced network guarantees your faxes won't get blocked. So they'll connect on the first try. Or we'll credit you if you're not satisfied with any fax that doesn't. It's your choice. Faxes that'll save you time, guaranteed. Or some other company that could be sending you the wrong signal.
The AT&T Best in the Business Guarantee. Call for details.
A few hours after they told me, I realized that a promotion doesn't just change your office, it changes your life. I knew it was time to call Tom, my nationwide insurance agent.
Barbara needed a nationwide care review. We talked about her coverages, updated them, even consolidated a few policies.
Oh, Tom had some great ideas. He even saved me some money.
That's what I'm here for.
That's good to know.
The Care Review from Nationwide, because things change.
Nationwide is on your side.
Good passing inside by the Pitt Panthers here, Dom.
Moving without the basketball. Defense turns his head. You see Derek Brown turns his head. Sharif to the hole. Great play.
Here's a crowd pleaser here. McCullough with a great look.
Jerry's been having trouble hitting the outside J, but I tell you, he found Ahmed Sharif again. Great pass. Finishes it off.
Sharif just the catalyst the Panthers need. He's got 9 points, 4 straight from the field. And oh, by the way, St. John's has tied the game, but has never led.
Both teams have played aggressive man-to-man D. You're not seeing a whole lot of zones tonight. They're coming right at each other.
Derek Brown, baseline against Sharif. Called a foul on Sharif. As you can hear, not a popular call in the Steel City.
Brian Mahoney happy with that call, but Sharif has to push him to the inside where he's going to get some help. Man goes baseline, no one's going to be able to react.
As you saw, third foul on Sharif. Boy, would they like to get him out of the game. Sergio Luke with the runner, got it! Sergio Luke. Antoine Jones with the foul.
Out of bounds play, a little thing. A nice screen. Sergio gets the screen, comes off it, drills it, goes to the line to cut into that lead once again.
Now here's a guy, played in 3 games last year, medical red shirt. And he comes back. I mean, certainly a lot of basketball in his blood. His dad played at Florida, Coach Cetro over in Europe, and his mom's a former Miss Europe, so certainly he grew up around the game and making the adjustment.
He certainly is, and a lot of people in this game are making adjustments. But from the standpoint not playing, coming in off the bench there.
Middleton with the help. They try the dump down pass. Oh boy, look, foul on him. He thought if anybody had to foul, it had been on Lamont Middleton.
Hey, call it. But good execution by Pitt to get the ball into the low post.
Foul on
Sergio Luke, his second foul. Get the inbounds to Sharif, works himself free and nails a jump shot.
Looked like the same play David St. John just ran for Luke.
Yeah.
Ahmed going to the hole strong, that time demonstrated his outside dexterity.
Sharif has 11 points. Pitt's got a 5-point lead. Check that, a 4-point lead, 49-45. Scott, and a reach over the foul on Mobley. He had the trail hand on his back. That's what he was called for.
Exactly.
Did a nice job with the lead hand, though.
He had great position. He moved his legs, but he's hanging on. He got caught.
Third foul on Mobley.
We talked about quickness for a big guy. Look at Mobley. His legs are go, but his right hand, right arm is grabbing him.
So both Scott and Mobley with 3 fouls. Scott picked up his dribbles, in trouble. Kane bails him out. So far, both teams, 5 fouls apiece. Derek Brown, big 3-pointer there. St. John's to within 1 once again. It's 49-48 Pittsburgh. McCullough can't make the layup. McNeil follows, doesn't finish. Boy, McCullough's got to be thinking about it. He's not hitting from the outside. Now he can't even make his layup.
Exactly, and what happens is he's trying a little bit too hard, and that's why I think Paul Evans gave him a little breather in the first half.
4th foul on Scott. He'll take a seat. Mitchell Foster will come in.
A big rebound to cause the 4th foul on Chanel Scott. You see him right there. Had no alternative.
Chanel Scott with 6 points, and he takes a seat with 4 fouls. It really hurts to have your big fellow on the line. Chanel averaging 15-1 a game. Here's McNeil, completes the trip to the foul line with 2, 51-48 Panthers.
And a lot of time to go, Dave, a little more than 13, and Scott goes to the bench.
See what the stamina story is with David Kane. Been battling the flu, and this is a good matchup, he and Sharif. Kane having a marvelous year, averaging 7, has it blocked. 7 turnovers, and that'll be a, wow, I thought it would go the other way. I thought Brown might have got called for the block, and Evans thought the same thing.
He's just giving him that look, saying, I cannot believe that call.
I thought for sure, as I saw Derek react. Mobley takes a seat. Rhymes is coming in. There's a look at it. And Derek Brown and St. John's, they win that battle.
Apparently called to travel before the contact.
Yeah. Look at those turnovers.
They're mounting up there.
David King goes glass. Middleton loses it out of bounds. Even the referee involved in contact.
You know, it's been interesting in this game. We talked about in the opening, both guards are the keys to their program, McCullum and Kane, and they're struggling somewhat.
Here comes the Cuse, only down by 3 at Miami, and Seton Hall has fallen behind BC, 46-37.
Oh, that'll be a big one for BC.
The steal by Kane. Here comes St. John's on the break. Good pick by Middleton to free Kane up, who's 0 for 6 from the field. Sergio Luke for 3. Tied at 51.
An amazing basketball game. Both teams are answering.
Serge has got 9. Left alone. Straight away. Can't get the roll. Is Marlon Rhymes and Sergio Luke making significant contributions for the Redmen.
Sergio, the whole ball game. The three-pointer. Now he's rebounding.
Kane gives St. John's its first lead. David Kane with his first bucket of the night.
And he looks as if he's somewhat winded. You mentioned he had a little flu problem.
Maurice Brown has been waiting at the table for about 2 minutes, and Sergio called for the foul. The foul on Sergio Luke. That's his 3rd. David Kane will get a blow right now. Maurice Brown comes in. There's David. You can see he's breathing a little bit hard.
He needs it. I think he needs the breather. Brian said that he held him out of practice yesterday.
Maurice Brown in for St. John's. Garrett Thomas in for Pitt. Antoine Jones at the line.
Here's Anton Jones at the line. You hear all the talking underneath. Vermont Middleton talking it up for St. John's.
And he's yelling, box out, because this is the area where people go over someone's back or someone forgets to box out. It's an easy hoop.
Anton short, Middleton with the rebound. Maurice Brown, big task for him. St. John's with its first lead, 53-52. There you see your time remaining.
And Brian wants execution. He wants them to take a little more time than they have. Look for the good one.
Middleton crying for the ball inside. Mitchell Foster posting up. Where do you go here? Who's your go-to guy here, Dom?
Well, you got to look to Middleton down low if you can.
There he is.
Very strong.
Nice job. Had it on his hip. That's a good call. He had the ball after the power dribble, carried it on his hip, and they'll wipe off the deuce. 11:34 to go in the ball game here at Pittsburgh. It's St. John's by 1, 53-52. Back with more after these words from our local stations.
The only thing we know so far is that Bobby Bonilla has proven to be a liar.
You may not agree with everything he says, but MSG Sports Desk's Bob Page doesn't mind.
I think you are jealous.
Of your money, yes.
I make more
of
money
your
than
looks,
you.
no.
New York sports fans need someone who's not afraid to stir things up.
These morons.
Someone who'll ask the questions you'd like to ask.
But that can be documented. 20,000 women?
Bob Page and MSG Sports Desk for the real New York sports fans.
Check this out.
He was the heart and soul of 3 Yankee championship teams.
And Thurman Munson, I believe, was at his best when it was time to really show what you were all about.
He made an impact on everyone's life. Everyone that he came in contact with, he impacted in some way.
Fans, you'll certainly enjoy the official Yankee home video called Captain, the Thurman Munson Story. Order your copy for $24.95. Just write to this address or call 1-800-9-YANKS-9.
Great to have you with us here at the PITTSBURGH Fieldhouse, everybody. Dave Sims and Dom Perno. St. John's taking its first lead of the game on a David Kane bucket. It was his first field goal, too. And David's taking a rest right now, shooting 1 for 7, 3 points, 4 turnovers, uncharacteristic. And there's his replacement, Maurice Brown. What a big job in store for him right now to keep St. John's at the very least even in this game.
Exactly. He's got to keep them alive, and he's got to continue the momentum that St. John's has gained.
A wipe off the Mobley hook shot with the traveling violation. Jonell Scott on the bench for St. John's. He's got 4 fouls for Jonell, and here you go, field goal percentage by the half. And St. John's has improved itself markedly while Pittsburgh's fallen off the table.
They flip-flop from what they were in the first half.
Sergio Luke gets it to Foster. Turnaround jumper in the lane, rims. Look at Middleton.
Great read.
What a board. What a big-time board and a foul on Gant. Final from Miami. Leonard Hamilton's Hurricanes knock off the Syracuse Orangemen, 81-74.
Another big win for Leonard Hamilton. He's done a great job.
Telling you, Miami now 4-6 in the conference, 7-11 overall. Derek Brown, short, rebound, kept alive. Foster comes up with it. And Johnson starting again with Maurice Brown running things for the Redmen.
Mitchell Foster doing a nice job replacing Jonell Scott, who's out with 4 fouls. He wants to stem the tide.
Derek Brown studies, fires no, and the rebound again. Garrett Thomas. Panthers looking to regain the lead. They've led by as many as 9. Middleton tries for the strip. Bodies all over the place. Jones. Takes it outside to Thomas. Mobley works his way inside and scores. Nice job.
Sheer strength down low. They had him under the basket, but forced his way back up. Puts Pitt ahead.
8 points for Mobley. Panthers regain the lead. 54-53. Turnover. Derek Brown looking for a call. Doesn't get it.
Derek's got to go back door when he's overplayed that time by Garrett Thomas.
14th turnover for St. John's, and here comes David Kane, as well as Charles Minlin back into the game. Maurice Brown did okay, kept them close, only down a point. Did a nice job.
He did a good job. He gives Kane some minutes, some breathing room.
Middleton comes out also. Jerry McCullough, Anton Jones in the backcourt for Pittsburgh. McCullough has struggled big time. What a pick off the ball. Luke got drilled. Speaking of drilling, Anton Jones opens it up. A 3-point lead for Pitt. He's got 7.
What happens? You're talking about McNeil and Mobley down low. You have a tendency to forget Antoine Jones, but he's had a good ball game tonight.
Here's David Kane. Sergio Lucas played well. 9 points off the bench. Minlin in the face-up. Goes with the spin. Can't get it. Rebound Mobley. And a big one. And a foul by Sergio Lucas. That is the 4th on Sergio Luke. So 2 Redmen with 4 fouls. Luke joins Jonell Scott in that category. Hit Brian Mahoney.
It really thins him out because Sergio is doing a nice job for him.
And there's an update from Chestnut Hill, Mass. Eagles by 8. Seton Hall, 14th ranked in the AP poll this week. Boy, it's dangerous sliding.
I tell you what, the higher you are, the more chance, the further you fall, and that's what's happening.
Mobley at the line one more time. Knocks this one down. Mobley now with 9 points. Fouled out of 3 games this year. Coming off a 17-point performance against Villanova. And that ended a run where he had gone 4 games without getting into double-figure scoring. Loose ball, McCullough. Kicks it to Thomas. That's his shot. Boy, he bricked that one. St. John should get a freebie. Let's see if McCullough can stop Foster. He does. Nice job by Jerry McCullough. Make him shoot the 2.
McCullough back on the D that time. Let him earn it. And the way everyone is shooting foul shots, you're not going to give any unmolested layups.
3rd foul on Jerry McCullough.
Nice spin here by Mitchell Foster down low. And of course, McCullough does the only thing he can do is follow him and put him in the line.
4-point advantage for Pittsburgh right now. Let's see if Foster can cut into it. And he does. Pitt had been on a 6-0 run.
Mitchell Foster has a nice little touch for a big guy. We saw him take a close to a three-pointer in the first half, but he can shoot that turnaround 15-footer.
Take your pick on the violation here. Gonna wipe it up. Minlin moved in. Minlin, the freshman, cost St. John's an opportunity. 3-point game. Pittsburgh leading 57-54. Ahmad Sharif readying to come back into the game for Pittsburgh.
Eric Mobley really wants the basketball. Nice pitch.
Oh, boy. And a good job by Gant to knock it off of Brown's leg. Good presence of mind. Chris Gant, nice job.
When a big man is unselfish, he can do so many good things down low because they're going to double up on Mobley every chance they have, every opportunity that shows.
Mobley to Thomas. Thomas hit a couple of big threes first half. Mobley and Foster battling down in the low blocks. Shot clock at 20. Sharif pulls from the top of the key and nails it. Nice job by Ahmad Sharif. He's got 13. Well, hit by 5.
That's the area that Paul Evans wanted Ahmad Sharif to work on. He certainly has demonstrated that he's not afraid to take that jump shot.
Sharif with the foul. The foul on Sharif, his 4th.
And that's a 10 for that takedown. There's some enthusiasm. I can understand why Paul Evans loves to play in this arena.
No question. Pitt lost 2 games in a row this week. They lost to Syracuse 95-79. Wednesday they lost to Villanova 82-76. Both games at the Civic Arena. But back here tonight in the intimate confines of Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Derek Brown, loose ball, goes to Sharif.
Big miss.
Sure was. Thomas wide open for 3. No! Foul on the play, probably against Foster, and it is.
Mobley again with the inside positioning. It's tough to keep him off that board.
Third foul for Foster, and all kinds of foul trouble for the Redmen.
As a big guy, you're spinning and holding off people. And take a look at Mobley. Got the inside spot. Mitchell Foster pushes, and he'll go back to the line for a couple.
9th foul for St. John's.
It's going to be a lot of foul shots taken these next 8 minutes.
You got that right, 8 minutes.
Wow.
St. John's has 9 fouls. Pitt with 8. Here's Mobley. Good on his first attempt. Again, Brian Mahoney has seen the Pitt bench really hurt his ball club. Thomas and Gant have combined for 16 points. We mentioned the story in the first half that was a big story. Big numbers off the bench. But, correct myself here, second half, the Pitt bench is not particularly Gant and Thomas. They haven't scored.
They haven't, of course. Mobley has been a big factor.
Kane to Brown, and a foul by Thomas. Not a good one, as Derek Brown coming off the screen.
And Derek Thomas looks at the bench, and Paul Evans just nods. Not a good one. You got to move your feet toward the basketball. That time he too close to Derek Brown, on the movement, caused the foul.
You're in Paul Evans' shoes. You got your ball club in the top 25 at number 15 this week. You'll lose a couple of games. Boy, he took some heat this week.
He certainly did. This is a tough area. I don't know if there's too many areas that are not tough in the Big East Conference, but Paul has done a great job here at Pitt. He's been in the NCAA tournament continuously. But I tell you, the more success you have, Dave, the more they demand.
No question. Derek Brown at the line for another attempt. He knocks that one down, 61-56. Derek Brown's got 18 points. St. John's has led just once in this game. Here's Mobley, double team. McCullough. Derek Thomas to Gant, spins, blocked by Foster emphatically, and Beckett comes up with the loose ball. Evans
jumped off the bench that time. Can't believe it.
Derek Brown trailers Foster. Straightaway jumper, no good. Beckett had it, lost it. It's out on Pitt. Paul Evans is upset, to say the least. His club, though, enjoys a 61-56 lead. We'll be back with more after these words from our local stations.
New Orleans is very much a food city.
Where'd you have dinner last night?
People come here to eat. They want an experience.
Well, what did you have?
And it's not supposed to taste like it was cooked in Florida. It's supposed to taste like it was cooked in New Orleans. This is home. So we find the American Express card, it makes the customer feel so at ease, and you never get caught short.
American Express is welcomed at Commander's Palace and other hot spots.
Why did Hertz invent #1 Club Gold service? To beat the rush hour. See, every plane and everybody seems to land at once. But with Gold service, there's no stopping at the counters and no paperwork. Instead, you go nonstop to your waiting car with your name in lights. Only Hertz has #1 Club Gold. The best reason yet why Hertz beats the rush hour. To Hertz, the rest of the day is a piece of cake.
Want to taste a couple of pints?
Yeah, we'll give you a taste. I'll have 1 pint.
So, which one did you prefer?
I prefer that one. This one here.
You picked Coors Extra Gold over Bud.
That's the one I fancy.
Did you know 65% of British beer drinkers prefer Coors Extra Gold?
I'm surprised 35% liked Bud.
Extra Gold is brewed 70% longer than Bud.
70%.
Slow brewed for that real beer flavor and color. The way beer was meant to be. The Brits agree.
That's jolly good, isn't it?
Coors Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is back.
It's a man's beer.
Welcome back, everybody. Dave Sims and Dom Perno with you from Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. And if you're going to play inside, look at this rough play.
You think you have the big guy pinned underneath, but unbelievable. I'll tell you, Wardy's doing a great job. Watch the movement on this guy. 6'11", 245. He's not standing still for a second. And that's why he's been so involved in what's been happening in the second half.
St. John's, Middleton with the reverse. No, with the tip. Mobley comes up with it.
Mobley and Jones once again intimidating underneath. Middleton only 6'6". Tough shot over Mobley.
7:16 left in the ballgame. Pitt leads it 61-56. And Jerry McCullough not a factor offensively, shooting 1 for 6 from the field. Foul on the play. 4th foul on Mitchell Foster. David Kane does a good job to calm the big fella down.
By the ability of Mobley to be active, caused St. John's all kinds of problems. Scott 4 fouls, Foster 4 fouls, and you have to attribute that to Eric Mobley's stamina, endurance, and the strength that he's developed over the summer lifting.
St. John's foul trouble, getting deeper. Scott, Luke, and Foster, as you mentioned, Dom, 4 fouls, so they got some targets to shoot at on the Pitt offense.
No doubt, and I can't believe Paul is not going to just keep drilling it into Eric Mobley down low.
We talked about the point guards. Mobley knocks down his next free throw. Shonell Scott comes back into the game. Beginning of the program, we talked about the importance of the point guards, Kane for St. John's and McCullough for Pittsburgh, and they are having shooting nightmares. Kane 1 for 7, McCullough 1 for 6.
I think Jerry McCullough, what he's done now, he said, hey, I'm just going to become a distributor of the basketball.
How about that? Brian Mahoney all over. The officials looking for a goaltend against Pittsburgh. Sergio Luke already has 4, and the pass intercepted by Kane. Here comes St. John's, down by 6. Kane, Brown for 3. High arcing, no rebound to Mobley. Outlet pass and a good one. Derek Thomas finishes the play. Nice job.
Great play by Mobley. Derek Thomas under control enough not to draw the charge. Big hoop for Pitt.
Pitt out front now, 64-56. 8-point lead. Their biggest lead was 9. Shonell Scott with 4 fouls. Lost control. Look at that roll. Are you kidding? He lost control of the jump hook and got a break.
He got the bounce, the whole thing.
The stoppage in play right now is McCullough and Middleton have a conversation at the other end of the floor regarding untied shoelaces. I think they're getting in their trash talk corner.
I know, right
for the
there.
evening.
The whole thing. Lamont is a character.
Here comes McNeil. He'll replace Chris Gant.
Chris Gant, who's given Paul Evans great time off the bench.
Pittsburgh doing its best to knock off first place St. John's. Redmen lead the Big East. Redmen at 7-2. They came into tonight's action a game ahead of second place Seton Hall. That went in and out. Middleton comes up with the rebound.
Well, Pittsburgh put it where they wanted it to go, right into Mobley, who's playing. Oh, great.
Nobody home.
Oh, that's a great pass. Right?
Jones for two. Starting to get away from St. John's. 66-58. Kane made a super penetration, then had the shot blocked nicely. Crowd trying to get back into the game for Pitt. Kane, good entry pass. Jonell Scott, if he jams it, he's got a deuce, but he laid it up. It's Pitt's ball.
Big defensive effort that time. He had the jam on the lay it off the board. Pitt very active. Here's the bounce pass inside to Jonell Scott. Feels he's got the layup, but take a look at this play right here.
Antoine Jones is 6'7", 210. Scott is 6'11", 250. The 250 guy is supposed to put the other guy in jeopardy, not the other way around.
Slam it through.
Here comes the crowd. 66-58, coming up with 5 minutes left. Pitt with the ball and the lead. McCullough in trouble, out on Middleton.
Well, Pitt wants to utilize the clock. There's 5 minutes left. They want to execute, and I think they got to go down low to Mobley and McNeil.
Scott's got 4 fouls. Luke's got 4. Sharif for 3. Rebound to Middleton. He's got Brown. Can he beat Mobley? And does. Derek Brown having a fabulous night with 20 points. Brings St. John's to within 6.
Paul Evans wants the execution, and I would think get the ball inside to the big people.
Mobley's had a good game. Going against Scott, who's got 4 fouls. Tries a drop step, throws it up. Boy, almost a travel there. Derek Brown free, good pump fake. Gets baseline, gets it up. Can't get the roll, but he'll shoot 2.
2 tough shots by Pittsburgh have brought St. John's back into this contest.
4th foul on Sharif. Thomas make that 5. He's done. Sharif fouls out, 13 points, 6 for 8 from the field. Played a strong game.
Had a good game, both ends. Stuck the jump shot, sliced through a number of times.
Ryan Mahoney working the officials pretty good. He wanted a goaltend, among other things, on that last possession.
Derek Brown at the foul line, 2 shots.
Derek Brown leading Redmen with 20 points tonight, make it 21.
Johnny, Pittsburgh had the hammer. A couple of quick shots. St. John's right back in it.
Derek Brown, 82% from the free throw line this year. Makes it a 4-point game. 4:20 left in the ball game. Pittsburgh by 4.
Pitt needs execution and good shots.
McCullough with a force continues his bad night from the field.
Tough shot for Jerry to finish off, and St. John's looking to cap a great steal by McNeil.
Sure was. Lame duck pass. Picked off by McNeil. 16th turnover for St. John's.
That's where he wanted to go, down low.
Here's Gant, goes by Scott, and the foul's on Scott. Scott didn't think the foul would be on him since Gant blew by him, but that will be number 5 and adios for Jonell Scott.
That's number 5, and that's where Pitt had to put the basketball, down low.
Scott with just 8 points tonight in the January 9th win for St. John's at Alumni Hall. Jonell Scott had 13 points and 8 rebounds tonight. 8 points and 7 rebounds.
Well, you get into early foul trouble, and took him away from his game.
Chris Gant played well coming off the bench tonight. He's got 8 points. Still holding at 8 points. All of them this half for Chris Gant. He's out of Smiley High School in Houston, Texas. On the preseason dunk contest here for Pittsburgh. Panthers by 4. St. John survives that trip.
They certainly did. They could have brought it to 6. And now St. John's has a chance to cut it to 2, even 1.
Sergio Luke has 9 points, hasn't shot it in a while. Derek Brown carrying the scoring load for St. John's. ISO from Middleton, gets inside. Nicely done.
Nice
Middleton.
Put the ball down and chased it, Dave.
St. John's on a 6-0 run to within 2. Watch the battle inside. Middleton and Gant. McCullough gives it up to Jones. Bottoms up.
Jerry knows he's having trouble sticking it. He found the open man, Antoine Jones.
Jerry doing a good job giving the ball up. Not shooting well at all. This is a war here. They call the foul on Gant. And you talk about a couple of guys jockeying for position. 4th foul on Gant.
That is a war down low. Both guys about the same size. Wide bodies, maneuvering for the opening. Lamont go to the line to shoot 2.
This is one of those real men play basketball kind of games.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Middleton misses there. Last time out against Pittsburgh, Lamont went 8 for 8 from the line. Mobley back into the game for Pittsburgh. Lamont struggling tonight, 2 for 5 from the line.
Both teams keeping the other team in by not making the foul shot.
You bet. Boy, did he study a long time for this one and missed them both. Rebound, Midland, no! Rebound, Midland. He'll go up again, has it sent back. Sergio Luke with the rebound. And a double dribble, that's a good call. That is a good call. He did double dribble.
It is a good call, but Brian Mahoney going crazy on the sideline because he thought it was a goaltending.
The excitement, the intensity of Big East basketball here from Pittsburgh. 2:56 left. Pittsburgh leading St. John's by 4.
Some unknown long-distance companies are promising you fax connections as fast as AT&T's. But a promise isn't a guarantee. And AT&T's advanced network guarantees your faxes won't get blocked. So they'll connect on the first try. Or we'll credit you if you're not satisfied with any fax that doesn't. It's your choice. Faxes that'll save you time, guaranteed. Or some other company that could be sending you the wrong signal.
The AT&T Best in the Business Guarantee. Call for details.
A noble warrior advised, the art of protection springs from within. One must stay vigilant against one's unfragrant perspiration, lest one provoke a hostile response. Thus, the Norse ritual is Right Guard Sports Stick, an aromatic array of the freshest scents and maximum protection against disarming wetness. Confirming the wisdom, the best defense is not to offend. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
When you were 21, we drank a toast to it.
Yeah.
We did do that. When you were 30, I can't read this. You could boast of it. Now you're 40. Look at there. See? So make the most of it.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that clever?
Let's see who wants the ball here. And if you don't, you're going to get creamed.
You're not getting no room for the meek under here. I'll tell you, Midland up. Attempt again the second shot. Watch this rejection right here. And of course, Brian Mahoney wanted a goaltend. And here's a double dribble by Sergio Luke. Good call by the official.
Turnover hurt. Neither team came in as a great free throw shooting team. And certainly they've borne that out this evening.
I would think Pitt will want to utilize this clock here, take some time off it, and then look low.
All right, 4-point advantage for the Panthers. 2:30 left in the ball game. Pittsburgh, 2 games behind first place St. John's in the loss column. Jones inside to Mobley. Mobley, what a mismatch now. Look at this. Mobley has got Lamont Middleton on him.
Exactly. You got to get it to the big guy. He's outside now.
McCullough, no! He gets the rebound.
Great effort by Jerry McCullough here to get the missed shot.
Big time play.
Big time is right.
McCullough, both point guards, McCullough and David Keene shooting 1 for 8 from the field. Jerry McCullough coming off a 5 for 14 against Nova on Wednesday. That includes a 1 for 9 from 3. And the clock in favor of Pittsburgh right now at 1:40. Panthers by 4.
And right now there's 2 possessions that St. John's needs.
Eric Thomas can't get it. Rebound. Middleton had it. Kane's got it. They got numbers 3 on 1. Kane to Midland, goes up. Foul on McCullough. Boy, Kane, I think if he had it to do over again, gives it to Derek Brown.
Yes,
4th
that's
foul
right.
on McCullough.
Yep, he had him.
And free throws coming down the stretch here. The last 125 are going to play a large part. Look at that. St. John's came in at 69%, so they're falling off dramatically. And Pitt right at their season average of 64%.
And here's a couple of key ones here for Charles Midland. Just a freshman.
That one down. Big pressure.
Calmly drills it.
But after the 3-on-1, Derek Brown put his arms around David Kane, and David Kane shook his head and said, "Yeah, I should have given it to you."
You know, he knew it.
Can't get it. McNeil with the rebound. Pitt with the ball up 3. Minute 20 to go.
Pitt once again will execute and turn it over. They're going to spread the floor, Dave.
Ryan Mahoney saying, "Come on, good defense." Oh, what a Pitt win's going to do to the Big East top of the standings, because Seton Hall and BC started tonight a game behind St. John's, so somebody's going to be right there.
Yep,
Should Pittsburgh pull off the win here.
Exactly. BC can sneak in there.
Shot clock inside of 10. It's at 7. McCullough, no! Another air ball. Middleton, they got numbers. Midland loses control. The ref's in the way. They got a man underneath Beckett. Kane can't get it. He's been struggling all night. What a miss! McCullough comes up with it.
He's got numbers. Let's see what they do. Good play by Antoine Jones to bring it out. Very smart move by the senior.
Oh, brother, what a sequence that was. And a foul by Middleton. Both Kane and McCullough at 1 for 9, and what a big trip and a wasted opportunity for St. John's.
St. John's had the hammer to cut it to 1. But Antoine Jones with a heady move, Dave, and taking the ball back outside.
You're right, because the pass was in back of him. If the pass is in front of him, he rips the rim down.
Exactly.
Final 20 seconds coming your way. It's Pittsburgh leading 68-65.
To keep your competitive edge, you can phone it there, fax it there, even beam it there. But there's nothing like being there. With US Air and the American Express card, you get a winning combination. The airline that begins with you and the card dedicated to providing unparalleled customer service. US Air and the American Express card. Keep your competitive edge.
Chuck Daly for Sharp.
In basketball or business, you got to know what your players can do for you. That's why Sharp has a winning game plan for copiers. This booklet will help you find the right copier to increase productivity and reduce operating expenses. Whether you get a new Sharp high-volume copier system or a compact copier that lets you add on as your office needs grow. So call 1-800-B-SHARP now and get your winning game plan, because Sharp's got the players you need to win.
If you're printing to the LPT1, try printing to the LPT1.
C:\Windows. The device command in this example sets up the HIM. Oops. What did I do? I don't know.
Page
What are you guys doing? You've been fooling with that thing for 3 days now.
Making it easy to use.
So we'll be more productive.
If it is productive much longer, we'll go out of business.
If you want a computer that's easy to use, there's still only one way to go.
Our score from Fitzgerald, it's Pittsburgh holding off first place St. John's right now. 20 seconds to go, 3-point edge for the Panthers. Elsewhere in the Big East, how about the Boston College Eagles playing at Chestnut Hill at the Conti Forum against the Seton Hall Pirates, and BC wins it 63-62. The Eagles are now 7-3 in the conference. Seton Hall now 6-4. And should St. John's lose this game, St. John's and BC will be tied for first place in the Big East.
Big win for Jimmy O'Brien's team.
McNeil now 5 for 5 at the free throw line.
Big foul shot for Chris McNeil right there to put them up 4, and if he makes this one, it's going to be tough for St. John's.
McNeil, he called off, but he was wrong. 70-65. St. John's needs something quickly. Kane goes in, draws the foul. Boy, he could have laid it up, but he came back in with the body, did a nice job.
And no way Eric Mobley was going to allow that ball to get to the hole.
That's right, and you know, it's a better play given that David's 1 for 9 tonight, and he's an 80% free throw shooter, so let's see what happens here. Carl Beckett comes back in for Sergio Luke. Not too many opportunities at the line tonight for David Kane, just 1 for 2.
David not as sharp as he has. He's coming off the flu. We mentioned it earlier, and of course, it was a battle between he and Jerry McCullough. And I'll tell you, I don't know who won it. I think Mobley won it.
I think you're exactly right. St. John's next game Tuesday at Providence. Next games for Pittsburgh, they're at Seton Hall Tuesday at the Meadowlands, and then they go to Illinois next weekend. Kane gets 1 of 2. 4-point game.
Chris McNeil.
They foul immediately.
Chris looked long, and Mobley was there, but I'll tell you, wise move once again, get the ball and bounce. Paul Evans' team playing smart basketball the last minute or so.
Second foul on David Kane. Fouls his good buddy from New York City, Jerry McCullough.
Jerry McCullough at the foul line, 2 shots.
Paul Evans will probably have some of the local heat taken off him here with a big win over the first place team in the conference.
Well, they got to give him some credit some of the time.
4 points, 8 assists for Jerry McCullough tonight.
Jerry usually an outstanding foul shooter. I believe he started the season, what did he make, 23 straight?
Yeah, down to 67%, but that's a big one right there, 71-66. Brian Mahoney, man, this road trip, you figure if you can get 1 out of 2, but hey, you look at Providence with their big win over Georgetown, so that's no gimme by any stretch on Tuesday.
Nothing will be easy. In this conference, any given night, anyone could have a problem.
St. John's needs a 3. Beckett fires, scores. Hello. 71-69. Carl Beckett.
Wow. It's never over till it's over. I'll tell you, it's crazy.
Well, back for the final 007 in a moment.
U.S. Air Reservations, how can I help you?
Hi, who are you?
2 to Washington, please. After you.
Here you are, sir.
Thanks.
You're traveling light?
Did you have fun flying?
Yeah. You enjoy your flight with US Air.
Thank you for flying on U.S. Air.
You'll hear one word again and again from the people of U.S. Air.
What's better for you?
For one very good reason.
Everything we do.
Do it. You go to gate 10.
Thanks very much.
Seems that some boys just don't know how to play nice.
So you wanna play tough?
Introducing the bold new Ford Ranger.
You say you wanna play mean?
With its new look, Ranger's changing the rules. The stance is wider, and with push-button 4-wheel drive and a new body full of curves, guess we're just not playing fair.
Rest never rest. Ford's got a new machine.
How about Carl Beckett? He put St. John's in position for maybe one of those improbable 007 finishes.
Anything can happen. Take a look at his three-pointer. NBA bound. Quick timeout, and right now, Pitt's got to get it in bounds. They really want to get it up the floor if they can by way of a pass. They don't want to go to the foul line, but St. John's going to catch a quick foul, I'm sure. Decision Pitt has to make here is if someone's open long, do you take a shot at him, Dave?
See what happens here.
1-4 set. I like this set that Pitt is in right here. You got a lot of options to go to.
Send one man long. Let's see. Holy mackerel! It went off of McCullough. Oh, brother! What a play by David Kane.
Unbelievable play. David Kane once again right to the end.
St. John's with a chance to at least tie and maybe win with a 3. David Kane. What a play.
Well, we talked about the value of the little guy for St. John's. Has not had a great night, but I tell you, he did it defensively. Here, Pitt ran down the line, gave it to McCullough, but Kane got his hand on it, slashed it, and it went off Jerry McCullough's leg.
Wow, you see McCullough. Hey, are you kidding me? Only 1 second went off the clock. All right, Dom, give us a play here. You go for the deuce? You go for the deuce? On the road, go for the deuce?
I think you got to go for the deuce here. If nothing shows, obviously you got to take what they give you. But I think you got to get it to David Kane. You got plenty of time for him to wiggle in and find somebody.
Wiggle in and maybe kick it back to Derek Brown, who's done a great job tonight.
Exactly. They're going to double up on any penetration that's being made. Derek, or who was ever out there. Maybe it's Beckett. He drilled the last three-pointer.
All right, let's. I think we can anticipate what. Obviously, Kane will be out there. Derek Brown will be out there. Sergio Luke has been hitting some threes. Who else do you put out there? Because those are definitely.
Was Middleton, he fouled out? Lamont fouled out, or he's still in the game?
Middleton. Lamont Middleton, 12 points, 3 fouls, so he's
still in it.
He's still in it.
You could look to him inside.
Because he may be able to give you a 3-point play because he's been tough inside. All right,
exactly.
They bring Kane, Luke, Midland, Middleton, and Derek Brown.
And Pitt's going to play man-to-man D.
All right, we said a possibility of an improbable finish. Here we go, final 6 seconds. Pitt up by 2. St. John's with the ball off a big Pitt turnover.
Bryant going crazy on the sideline. Kane with
top.
the ball.
Let's see what happens. They run a double pick. Kane in the paint, puts it up. Can't get a tip, no good. So David Kane cannot believe that he didn't get the foul call. What a game.
Unbelievable finish, and Pitt hung on for a heck of a win.
St. John's is now tied with Boston College at 7-3 in the Big East. David Kane finishes the night 1 for 10. What a fine game for Pittsburgh. The Panthers now 7-4. A very good game, Dom. Good working with you again.
And Eric Mobley a key, Dave.
Eric Mobley, truly a force in the Big East. And Paul Evans, a big win as the Panthers come back to Fitzgerald. Along with Dom Perno, this is Dave Sims. Our final score, Pittsburgh 71, St. John's 69. The proceeding has been a Big East Conference Television Network production. Have a good night, everyone.